Welcome to I Testify Conversation Station. It's your girl, Mel.
And I'm Mellissa, and today's topic is It's Okay Not to Be Okay. Our quote of the day says, not only is it okay not to feel okay, it is essential. An abnormal emotion response to an abnormal situation is normal.
Just try to put positive energy into the world.
Focus on the good things in your life.
It could be so much worse. Be grateful.
This too shall pass.
But have you ever heard, it's okay not to be okay? Today's conversation focuses on emotions and the solution.
The reality and the way forward.
It's okay not to be okay. Now, when we hear that statement, what is it that comes to your mind?
Honestly, I feel when it comes to my mind, I think of like anxiety, depression, like mental illnesses. I feel like it's okay. We all suffer through something. This whole pandemic has changed our lives. Like, not even, and it's okay. Like, some of us will be like, oh yeah, I'm good, but it's okay to feel like this because we're all going through this, right? It's not just me, it's not just you. Whether we're sane, it has affected us. Some of us have lost our jobs. Some of us have, relationships, anything. It has affected us in a way that it's okay not to be okay. You can tell someone about it. You can talk to a friend about it. It's okay. It's all right.
We confuse positivity with making people feel some type of shame or guilt or embarrassment.
Yes.
With the way that they feel. And exactly. So the concept of it's okay to not be okay is in that we're not invalidating the way you feel, your emotional state. So like you said, it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be angry. Mm-hmm. It's okay to have negative emotions. They're going to come. Like, these are things that are a direct result of the things that we go through. But yes. What makes people feel like you have to act a certain way or look a certain way, or that you must feel shame for being sad, that's where the problem is, right?
And I also feel that that's why you talk to people that you can trust. You don't talk to just anybody. Like, you have a few friends that you can confide in. And I think that also helps because you don't know what other people have gone through in their past and they can relate to you. So it's always good to have that one or two friends that you know that they're not going to like judge you or make you feel, ashamed of how you're feeling. Nothing is wrong with talking to somebody because, as I said before, you never know if they've experienced it before. And it's good to share, and they could give you advice and experiences that they've been through to help you. It might not be the ultimate answer, no, but at least okay, wow, like I could confide in my friend, and it's kind of like you couldn't feel like a weight lifted off of your shoulders. You know what I mean? That you're able to still express your feelings. I don't understand. Sometimes I feel like being vulnerable, sometimes people don't want to be vulnerable. It's okay. Because when you have that one person that you can talk to, I mean, being vulnerable is okay. Because they're not going to judge you. It's just like almost like a conversation that you're having about what you're going through. Many of us are going through it, and it's okay. It's fine. Yeah.
We got to go back to, why is it that people don't feel comfortable sharing? And I think because we have created this culture of, you got to look good or act like you're good, look like you have it all together. There's this out of this world from social media, whatever it may be.
Yes.
Relationships. Some people, we are a relationship by blood, but we don't actually have a relationship in terms of emotions and what I'm thinking, because we've created this space or this idea that expressing your feelings, being sad, not being okay, being angry is not a good thing. Oh, it's
why? Like, right? Why though? It shouldn't be like that. Mel, let me tell you something. Like, I'm probably the most vulnerable person you'll ever meet. I'm not afraid to tell people. I'm not afraid to tell my friend how I'm feeling. I've been through so much. Like in these past, I would tell you in these past, like, let's say 9 years of working like a full-time job and like losing a best friend, losing people in my life, going, I was a manager, I'm going back to like my position as a rec therapist, it's, what I mean? It's okay. It's okay to be a, to be a manager and then go back down, because it's like, at least I had the opportunity. Some people, it's just hard to like grasp that. Does that make sense? It's hard to like say, oh, wow, like I feel away because now I'm back to like my old position. Like with me, Mel, I'm so thankful and grateful. I'm able to talk to people like coaches that can help me to become a manager again. You know what I'm trying to say? It's okay. It's okay to be up sometimes and then go back down. It's okay, right? We pick back ourselves up again. So
that's the concept here. It's not to say that we should swim in misery and remain in misery, but rather let me accept my feelings, accept the circumstance for where it's going. Let me try to see the good in it.
Wow. Perfect. Yep. And that's what it is. We're human. We are human. We're going to go through it. Guess what? Pick yourself back up. Let me tell you, I have been through it. And let me tell you, I'm a living testimony. I haven't given my testimony yet. One day I will, but I've been through it. I've lost someone that was my world. And I picked myself back up. I was depressed, angry with God. I had anxiety, fear to go out, fear to go to work. But Mel, I am here today, 9 years later. It's a testimony that I would love to give one day for everyone. And it's something that I'm so happy that I came out of that depression. I came out of that like misery. It's okay. I talked to people. I had a counselor, pastors. When you have also that support, Mel, that support, when you know that your family, your friends are there for you, that also helps. When you know that someone has your back, it helps. And I'm telling you, like, I had that support. You know what I'm trying to say? So I felt like, oh, okay, like I'm not in this alone. Even though I'm going through it, yes, alone. I mean, like the support that I had, it's like everyone was going through it too. Like, everyone was sympathetic or empathetic, because maybe someone has lost someone, so they can empathize with me. So it's real. Depression is real. Anxiety is real. It's there, but is to pick yourself back up. And God is the ultimate victory. He's the ultimate victory. If your friends, they can help you for a little bit. It'll be temporary, but God, it's permanent. That's the word, permanent. So yeah. That's my encouragement to everyone, pick yourself back up and just pray. Yeah.
What a powerful story. Thank you for sharing that. So if you don't mind me asking, so when you were at rock bottom, how long did it take for you to come out of there? Because I think that's usually the issue. It's not so much that I don't think people have an idea that emotions are permanent or that circumstances are permanent, but it's that state of not knowing when it's going to end that usually kills someone. Like now 9 years later, you look back, but did it take 9 years to get out of there? How long did it take? And how did you go through that when you look back? Like, what were your thoughts?
It didn't take 9 years. I would say for me to be really, really healed and like I'm able to start dating again or whatever, probably like a year and a half, 2. And what helped me was my mom, like a praying mother. Like, Mel, this lady prayed for me like morning, noon, night, in between. Like it wasn't that long. I honestly thought it was gonna be longer. I thought I wouldn't be able to like leave my house or even to work. Mel, I went back to work in like 2 weeks. I had to still work, and I was still, my boss would let me leave. If I had to go home, she was so, oh man, like God bless her. She was so nice to let me like just work on my own pace, on my own time. It's like, you know what, Mel, if you're not feeling okay, you can go home. Because she understood that I lost somebody. So like it took me 2 years to fully get out of it. But during that time, prayer, it was fighting with God, angry with God, fighting with my mom, fighting with my sister, fighting with my friends, being angry. But Mel, I just came out of it because I know I had to. I can't stay in something for so long, because what are you gonna get out of miserable life. So for me, I had to say to God, you know what, God, I'm very angry with you. How can I get out of this? Help me. Like, help me. Like, I'm on my knees, like crying, praying to God to get me out of it, because it was hard. And I can even get emotional now, but I'm not going to. It was hard. And just to see myself where I'm at right now, I've come a long way. I'm not perfect. I'm not here to say, I'm not preaching about, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. But one thing I can say is prayer, Mel. Prayer is like the best solution for all this. We sometimes it's hard to pray because we're so angry, right? We don't have the strength to pray. But when you just tell God, I can't pray, God, I don't know, can you please help me? I don't know where to go from here. That's me being open to that. I want to be healed. I don't want to stay in that for too long, because I'll be missing out in life. There's so much opportunities for us, So for me, yes, it might have taken me 2 years to fully get out of it. But through those 2 years though, Mal, it was about praying and getting my life back on track. And as I said, I'm not perfect, but trying to like have that relationship with God again. You know what I mean? And to like even surround myself. Also, too, one thing I could say, surrounding yourself with good people, positive people that will kind of like lift you up. When you're chilling with people that are going to bring you down, you're not going to go anywhere. So have that support and prayer and those friends that have your back. Let me tell you, it helps. The family helps. Like, I remember like people coming to my house when everything happened. When I lost my best friend, people were coming over to my house and I was like so overwhelmed. But now when I look back at it, Mel, I'm like, that was powerful. That was awesome. Like, I really appreciate that. I did appreciate that. Like, it was still overwhelming, because when you lose someone, it's like everything is coming at you. Like, where do you exactly? So for me, like, I'm telling you guys, like, prayer. I'm still working on it. I'm not perfect, guys. I'm still working on praying, having a relationship with God. I'm still working. But let me tell you, like, it just feels good. It just feels good when you have that relationship with him. So.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I can testify too, like you said, prayer really gets you out of there. And the first thing that comes to your mind is, I can't be here. Like you said, that's what's so powerful. It's like, I can't be stuck in here. I think that first decision you make in your mind to not remain here is what helps you get out of it. But a lot of people end up being so stuck into the emotion and focusing on it that you're like, I have no way out. So it's realizing that I am sad, that things are not okay, but I'm not hopeless.
Yes. There's a future.
Hello.
There's a future. We don't see the finish line because we're human. We can't see it. We're not God. We can't see it. But there is one. There is one. Trust me. I can testify to that. There's a finish line, guys. Don't give up. Don't give up. I'm telling you.
Hope that it's not permanent. Seasons come and go. Winter, spring, summer, fall. But it's going to change. I mean, like you said, it may not change tomorrow.
No.
2 years. It may be 9 years. It may be whatever it is, it's going to change. But I can't give up now. You didn't come this far. Hello.
Mary. Yes. Can't give up now. Yes.
I mean, I think about when my parents were, I was 10 when my parents divorced, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And my siblings my brother after me were 18 months apart. And then the last born at the time, he was, I think, like 2 or 3 years old.
Okay.
And everything was going on. Like, I remember the emotion, like if a 10-year-old, man, I pictured, we were sitting, praying, singing, eating together.
Yes.
And now, like, everything is so different. It's so different. It's not getting along. And that pain. I don't know how to explain that pain. I thought about, if I'm feeling like this, I can only imagine what these kids are feeling.
Oh, yes. Yes.
My focus went from myself to what about them? And I didn't neglect my feelings. I accepted my feelings, but I said, like you said, I looked at the future and I said, this thing ain't going to last forever. It's not going to last forever. Things are fine. And my parents reminded me of that. So I was like, you know what? Cool. So I spent my whole life, or I spent the years during that time trying to make sure that my siblings would not feel the pain that I was feeling.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll take you diverting your focus on your feelings to someone else for you to.
Wow. I didn't think of it like that too, Mel. That's good. Wow. actually never thought about that.
Somebody might think of it as, oh, you're running away from your feelings, but no, like for me, it was, I'm like this, someone else shouldn't feel like that. And I realized that it's in misery, it's at your lowest point that you're able, once you're able to get out of it, you sympathize more with people. Because if you never suffer, you'll never ever think about how do they feel. Like we always say, put yourself in that person's shoes. But to be honest, if you've never lost a mother, you can never place yourself in that person's shoes.
You can never, yeah.
True. Like, okay, now you can sympathize with someone who's not feeling okay. You know what to say.
Because you've experienced it.
Exactly. And so, like, you know, besides just looking ahead and knowing that there's something else in the future, take focus off yourself for a moment and help someone else that's miserable. It'll take the burden. You know what I'm saying? So that really helped me. But then at the same time, you know, you start to see the truth of the matter is every situation you or any circumstance that you go through that's negative will have some negative impact on you. You know? Divorced children going, you know, being more prone to do this and doing that. But when you tell yourself, listen, I'm not going to be a product of my environment. And like you said, you choose. Emotions, you don't get to decide, but will is what you decide.
Yes. Awesome. Well, that's actually like, thank you for sharing that too. Like everyone's going to go through something. We're not perfect, but it's just how you go about it. How am I going to feel at the end? I mean, you're not thinking that because you're going through at the present moment. Right. But when you just think about it, like the finish line, like, okay, you know what? I can't be in this too long. It's like, you'll just know how to pick yourself back up too. Like, you know what I mean? Because you're telling yourself, I don't want to be in this too long. Right. So, yeah.
Sometimes you can't even stop praying. You know, there are days when you like don't feel like praying, but sometimes you're so broken that you can't stop praying. You're just like, I don't want to move. I feel like I'm in a safe place just praying. And I don't get up until I feel the peace. There's something about prayer. I don't think people really appreciate it. You know, prayer isn't going to really change a thing right away, but it's God hearing me out. Yeah.
You're having a conversation with him. So it's like nobody, it's just between you and God. So that's what we were talking about earlier. When you have that relationship, it's a bit easier and you're more prone to just praying all the time. It's about the relationship and it's about the faith that we can have and hoping that things are going to be okay. And I'm telling you, like, sometimes you go to like a therapist. I mean, they're just talking and talking and I'm just like, they're not really like hearing me. Like, you know what I mean? They're hearing you, but they're not acknowledging what your feelings are, your emotions are. It's kind of hard. I'll just be like, okay, I'm not going back because it's like, what did I get out of that? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like you go to somebody, it's just like an expert in like whatever, psychology or whatever. Even whatever. You can go to an expert for anything. And it's like, they're not giving you the feedback that I guess you want to hear. So that's why when we pray, it's different and it's actually better because it's like, we know that God says, he says, yes, no, or wait, that's fine. But the thing I like about prayer is like, you have to keep doing it, keep consistently. And I got to learn that, Mel. Sometimes I'm just like, you know what, God, like, I don't know. Like, I don't see it happening. Like, you know, so it keeps going and going. Just like the Energizer Bunny. It keeps going and going. You have to keep praying to see like those results. And sometimes he'll test us too, because we don't see what's happening. So we're like, oh, we just kind of like give up, or you kind of like, you know, less prayer. But it's like, nah, you have to just keep going and just keep that relationship with him. And I know life will change for that person that's going through that. So yes, prayer for sure.
This is why emotions cannot be something that we depend on, something that we trust. There's no safeguard.
Yeah.
People like the clouds are here, they're there, they're small, they're big, they fluctuate so much. But when you fluctuate between fear and hope, you're not really dependent on Christ. So you can't, even though you accept your feelings in that moment, you got to tell your mind, you let your mind run you and not so much the way you feel. So you tell yourself, listen, I am not fearful, for he gave me not the spirit of fear, but of love.
Yes.
That is how, these are the practical ways of using the word to help you beat your situation. It's believing you haven't felt yet. Fearful, but God says I shouldn't be fearful. God, help me not to be fearful.
Yeah. And he says to cast our burdens upon him, right? Yeah, because he cares for us and he will be there. He's there. We can't, obviously we can't see him physically, but he's there. He's hearing us. So just, we don't have all your burdens balled up. Let it out. It's okay to let it out, you know? So that's one thing I learned too. Like, and also too, Mel, like for me, I'm an emotional person. So I'll cry. Like I'll cry if, you know, it depends on what the situation is, but I cry. And for me, that also helps me. It's like, it's everything is just coming out, like, you know? So for me, like people say, oh, you're emotional. It's like, okay, that's fine. You know, for me, that helps me. That helps me. Like after I cry, a little cry, I'm not saying I feel better, but you feel a bit better, you know? So for me, when I cry, like it helps, you know? And then for me, it's not like a negative thing to cry.
Jesus wept.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Because he felt it. He feels our pain. He feels it. Right. So
he still was without sin. So you can feel without sinning. Christ didn't sin, but he was sad. He cried. He wasn't hopeless, but he knew, like, I feel the pain this person's feeling. That I have hope. Even though I'm going through this like Christ, I'm about to die on this cross. I'm going to rise from the dead. This is not... You know, so he looked at the end and he said, I'm going to do this. But right now, the way I'm feeling, I cannot, God. And if it's possible, if it is your will, take it from me. And that's how I feel when we're in trouble. Like, I'm literally like, God, I cannot do this. But if it is your will that I go through this, help me through it.
Yes, exactly. And that's all. And that's all we have to do. Open up your mouth, or don't take up your mouth. Just like, even if you're praying in your mind, God hears us, you know what I mean? It's not hard to pray. We just have to have that spiritual like motivation, that drive to pray. You just have to, you have to have that relationship. So a Bible verse I wanted to share. I'm not going to read all of it, just the gist of everything. So Psalm 27 also helps me when I'm like going through something, just to wait on the Lord. And we're going to repeat this again. It's like, we don't see the finish line, right? But like, for me, it's like, I know that my faith and my hope is in the Lord. So I have hope that he's going to see me through my situation. I don't doubt it at all. And that verse just helps me. It motivates me to know that he's my strength. He's with me always. And he'll be there with me through my situation. And it's a path, it's a journey. It's not an easy journey, but for me, it's like when I read that verse, it just gives me strength and hope to carry on and push through. And also Psalm 121. For me, like, it's like, you know, we're pouring ourselves to God and crying out to God, and he hears us, you know, and we can depend on God for help. And those two verses, it really carries me through when I'm going through something. So I encourage everyone, Psalm 27 and Psalm 121, read it and just don't give up. That's all I can say is don't give up, because I'm telling you, the finish line, it's victorious. It's like a breakthrough. It's like a dance, you know, like you're just, it's a victorious, like, it's like you running a race and you finish, like you got to the finish line successfully, you know, so don't give up, everyone.
And so I want to thank Mellissa, Mel. I want to thank you for sharing your testimony today. That really meant a lot and allowed me to open up about my own testimony. I think that was a powerful moment.
Thank you for having me, Mel. This is great. And I just hope that everyone just listens to this and just don't think that you're alone. So thanks, Mel, for having me on here. I really enjoyed this today. Thank you.
It was powerful. So once again, it's okay not to be okay, but don't absorb yourself in your emotions. Don't allow emotions to dictate your happiness. Your emotions don't tell you what to do. You tell your emotions. You tell your mind that there is joy in the morning. That seasons are for a time. They pass. Nothing is permanent. But God is always there. And so he said he'll never leave you, nor forsake you. I have plans not to harm you, but to give you a prosperous life. And so you're watching I Testify Conversation Station. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.